upon awakening, upon what I would call the pure heart being revealed, one as awareness, one as awareness being the experience. Something remarkable happens whereby everything is given to awareness as the experience. It doesn't always feel good. But what's interesting here is that you've come away from wanting it to be anything. If you remain as awareness, being experience, you're giving everything to awareness as the experience. There cannot be a preference or an inference from a personal sense of how you want spirituality to look like, or how one wants to be. One is simply remaining as what is found as the sacred heart of all experience, which is awareness. And that in itself is intriguing. That in itself defies the old pattern of doership, or the old pattern of what one should be. One simply remains as awareness. And what is intriguing is it's hard to say. What's intriguing is none of it matters to awareness, yet everything matters to awareness. And let me explain this. It's this, again, as we enter into inquiry, or we enter into sadhana, we enter into the paradox. On one hand, it matters. On one hand, it doesn't matter. Where it doesn't matter is that whatever emotional pattern of sense self is projected or active, it's a pattern, of course, so these are triggered. Whatever body sensation it is reacting to, it doesn't matter in sadhana, it doesn't matter in inquiry. Because none of these things qualify you or define you as awareness. Okay, that's where it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. The awareness that is awakened or knowing of its true nature always remains in its nature. That nature, of course, is not a thinker, it's not a doer. It's permanent, it's indivisible, cannot be divided. It doesn't separate from itself to know itself. So it doesn't need a mind to define it by thoughts or an emotion to define it by a sensation, you know. So it doesn't matter. When awareness is born of its true nature, gnosis or knowing, none of what appears matters in terms of what defines awareness that is awakened. Okay. So it doesn't matter what appears, but the old habit of appearance is to be defined by appearance, which obviously separates you from your natural state of permanence or indivisible nature. In the attachment to the body, mind, the emotional nature, the mental counterpart, also thinking, you'll always be defined by what you feel emotionally, what's happening in your body, and you'll manage it, that what we call doership. But awareness, when awakened, isn't defined by that. It remains permanent. So it doesn't matter. But then we enter into the paradox of where it does matter. It matters only that awareness itself, the Sacred Heart, is the experience. So here we have the paradox. It doesn't matter and it matters. It doesn't define you, yet what appears is experienced by knowing, by that heart of pure awareness, you see. So it matters and doesn't matter. It matters to the ego, because the ego, if it feels bad, wants to feel good. Has a bad feeling, wants to deal with it. Can feel ashamed by it, can feel troubled by it, feel defined by it. But of course, as awareness awakened, the natural state of all from where one sees, where one first is, the knowing, doesn't matter. And of course, what we're talking about here is ultimately humility, or non-judgment, or unconditional reality, you know, because awareness in its natural state, in its own contemplation, its own isness, gnosis, just remains the experience of it without a thought for it, which is what the ego is. It's a thought for yourself, defined by yourself. This is the duality. Thought for yourself. The thought for your emotional nature, the thought for your feeling nature, sensory nature, and of course that self-consciousness becomes a reference point to your body mind attachment. So awareness is unconditional, but it's not an unconditionality that is played out spiritually, played out, and you know, humility is not how you treat somebody or not judge somebody, or it's about being the pure experience of yourself, your body mind, without being defined by it. So from what matters and doesn't matter as awareness, one comes to see how awareness itself is the action, the active point of reality, the knowing of appearance, the experience of the appearance, yet not defined by it, yet the experience of it, you see. And this open heart awareness, this, what is the true experience? Because all is consciousness, nothing is separate from your knowing. This meditation itself is active in that, as I've said before, it discriminates. It can discriminate between itself as the self and a form that arises out of it, whether it be a body sensation or a mental and emotional reaction. It itself is permanent.